Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Simmer Down. First, I want to take this time out to say thank you to all the new subscribers out there. And I also want you guys to know that I'm totally sorry for the delay. The holidays have really, truly got the best of me. But I'm back now. I just want you guys to know that today is soup day, okay? Today I'm going to be making turkey neck soup. I'm going to be doing it more like Caribbean style soup. Growing up, if you looked at my About Me video, I am originally from New York City, but I was raised in a bicultural household. We would have this soup on the weekends. They'll put dumplings in there. It's hearty. It's a hearty soup. So it's nothing like Progresso, I believe that's the name of the soup. It's nothing like Campbell's soup. It is very hearty. It doesn't have a lot of sodium like all the other soups. It does not make you sluggish. It does not make you sleepy because we have mostly veggies in there. That's just going to give you the fuel that you need to get through the day. All right, so let's get started. Let me go wash my hands and I'm going to show you how to make this soup for you and your friends and family. Stay tuned. So my hands are clean and I'm ready to go. Right here I have about 7 pounds of smoked turkey necks. If you look very well, these turkey necks look very similar to oxtails. As known as, name for it will be Ghetto Oxtails, all right? In Jamaica they call these Ghetto Oxtails. I also have some veggies over here, all right? Some okra. I have a handful of okra, some sprigs of thyme, all right, a good portion of thyme, some butternut squash. I used about half of a butternut squash, 3 fresh corns that I cut into 3s. This is ginger, a good amount of ginger I'm going to use in this soup. And this is chocho. I believe it's also called choyote. I had took the seeds out of it. All right. Chocho. It has like one little seed in the middle of it. All right. That I just scooped out. And then this is some celery. This is about 8 or 9 cloves. About 4 to 5 stalks of scallion, and I would say about 8 ounces of carrots. I use the baby carrots and I just cut them in half, all right, because I want all my veggies to be somewhat bite-sized. I cut this very small, like petite, because I want to just use that to bring the soup together, to give it body, to give it that velvety texture. We're also going to include green banana. I'm going to clean this up very nicely and then peel it and then cut it up in little bite-sized pieces as well. All right, so this is the yellow yam that's also going into the soup. I started cleaning it, just cleaning the outside of it. I'm going to clean it some more, and this is the ends of it. Once I cut this end part off, it's going to look completely yellow, like a creamy yellow, I guess. This yam very similar to like a potato or cassava. All right, so yeah, we're not going to put this in until the soup is halfway done. Some pimento seeds, a handful of that. And then this is the mix to make the dumplings. I have all-purpose unbleached flour. This is 1.5 cups of all-purpose unbleached flour. a half a cup of cornmeal. All right, that's very fine. And I used a half a teaspoon of salt. This is the mix that I'm going to use for my dumplings. All right. So I think I showed everything that I'm going to be using in this soup. I'm going to get a pot of water going. All right. So this is the pot that I'm going to be using today. It's my Dutch pot, good old handy Dutch pot. I'm going to fill it up to where this line is to boil the meat out. And then we're going to take the ginger, the scallion, and the garlic, and I'm going to actually blend that up because I wanted to go into the meat. I wanted to give the soup a nice balanced flavor. So I want to blend it up nicely so it's consistent. The okras I'm going to put in when it's almost done. I'm going to actually cut it a little bit smaller, like half. So yeah, it can also help thicken the soup out. Stay tuned. All right, I'll be right back. Let me get a pot of water going. All right, now I'm going to turn on the stove. I'm going to put it on 7. All right, medium high heat. I'm going to let this get hot a little bit, but in the meantime, while this is getting hot, I'm going to start blending up the ginger, which is over here, the scallion, and the garlic. All right, but before I blend it up, I need to add some water in there to make it easier to blend. So I put about a tablespoon of water in here just to help blend the ginger. All right, actually I'm going to cut this a little bit finer so it won't be so hard to break. This is the outcome of the ginger, the garlic, and the scallion. All right, I'm just going to slowly pour it into the water. We're going to take the meat now and put it in here together and let it boil out. Take your time putting it in the pot. You don't want the water to splatter. All right, so now we're going to put the pumpkin and celery in here as well. All right, so now we have the pumpkin, the celery inside the soup. We're also going to put the pimento seeds and the 3 Maggi cubes in there. We're going to take the carrots too and put it in there as well. Okay, and I am now going to put some sprigs of thyme. Just put it in there like that and let it boil out as well with the soup. We're going to let this boil out with the turkey necks for about 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, so as you can see, the soup has boiled out. It's been 45 minutes to an hour to be exact. I had to actually skim the pot because there was a lot of frothy, fatty looking stuff that was coming up from off of the meat. This is it right here that I had separated from the pot. So what I did is, I don't know if you guys can see, if there was a little bit of fat on top of the water, I would just gently go underneath the frothy looking stuff like that and then put it into this bowl. So it was throughout the pot, but I took care of it already. So now I'm ready to put in my corn. All right, so this is the corn right here that I'm going to put into this pot and let it boil out. So now the corn is in there. I'm making sure it's down in the water. And we're gonna let this boil out probably another 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. So in the meantime, while the corn is boiling out, we're going to add the cock soup and the pumpkin soup, okay? What I do is, there's some noodles in here that we're going to separate. I'm going to use this silver bowl right here to separate the pasta with this strainer, all right? So I'm going to pour it on in the strainer and let the strainer catch the pasta noodles, where we can keep the seasoning in the actual bowl right here to pour into the soup, but the pasta will be taken out, and it will be in this strainer. So just like this. And then I'm going to use a spoon to stir it around, just to easily be able to sort out the noodles from the seasoning. If you keep the noodles in there while the soup is cooking, it will burn the bottom of the pot quickly. So this is the seasoning that I got out of the 2 packets. Now I'm going to put it inside the soup. Slowly put it in. So the mix is in there. The soup has a different color now. It's a little bit more orange. I don't know if you guys can see that. But we have the thyme sprig that is now completely naked because the leaves have fallen off. They have boiled out. So I'm going to take this out because we don't want that in our soup. All right, I'm going to keep everything in there but the thyme. Now it's time to cut the banana, the green banana, right here. It's a little hard to cut, to be honest with you. There's a little technique to it though that I'm going to show you. You're going to take the tip part off. You're going to start cutting from there. It's a little bit open. And you're going to just go right where the crease is and just go all the way down. Okay. And then the little opening right here, you're going to take your fingers where the crease that you just slid open and start peeling it. And you use your hands to push the banana skin. You do it all the way around and it will come off. I'm sorry guys, I could not use gloves for this one. My hands are clean. I remember growing up, we used to have the skin in the pots. So if you have a hard time taking I'm gonna clean this up. All right, so that's the banana, the green banana. I'm going to cut up into bite-sized pieces. But if you do have a hard time taking the skin off for some reason, clean the banana very well with lemon juice, vinegar, with the peeling on, you know, clean it up very well, and then cut them up into however size you want and just put it in a pot. And the heat alone will take the skin off of the banana. I used to leave it in a pot with the skin on when I was a child. So let me cut this up and put this in a pot. Stay tuned. All right, so this is the green bananas that I cut up in about bite-sized pieces. And then I'm gonna stir it so it can get down into the juices. And I'm also going to start adding in my chocho. All right, so the chocho's in there. I'm going to stir it in there as well. I'm gonna let this cook some more, probably about another 30 minutes. All right, I'm going to put a lid on it this time, and I'm gonna have it slightly covered so it doesn't overflow. And after I finish doing that, I'm going to start on my dumplings and place them in the soup as well so it can boil out. within the 30 to 45 minute mark. Guys, I almost forgot, but I cut up the yellow yam. All right, I put a little lime in here just to stop it from discoloring, because it's just like a potato. Once you cut it, it starts to get like a brown tint on it, and I don't like that because sometimes it gives like a nasty flavor. I don't know, but I just placed the lime in there just to help with the coloring. I'm going to rinse this off again, and then I'm going to hurry up and drop it into the pot to cook as well with all the other ingredients. Yeah, so let me rinse this off and I'll be right back. All right, so it's rinsed off and I'm going to put it in the pot now. And I don't know if you guys can see, normally when you cut it, it has like a ooey gooey texture to it, like almost like an okra kind of texture once you cut the okra open. But once I wash it off with a little bit of lime juice and everything, it kind of keeps it clean and it stops it from discoloring. So yeah, let me go on and put this into the soup. Make sure it's in the soup. Stir it a little bit. Don't worry, the chocho is gonna cook down. The chocho has a texture like almost like a pear to me. It's like it soaks up all the flavors, so once you put it in your mouth, it's like it's bursting with juices, and all the juices and flavors that you used in the soup is going to be in the chocho. It's really nice. All right, and I think I said it before, the yellow yam is just like a potato, so it's going to do the same thing. It's just not so juicy, it's more starchy. So that's going to help also thicken the soup up a little bit. So yeah, let me get the dumplings started, so that can also help thicken up the soup as well. So I have it just like that, a little crack in the opening, so it can still cook and not overflow. All right, so my hands are clean. All right, I'm going to use my hands to make dumplings. I cannot use a glove, guys. I'm sorry. I have a little bit of water here and flour that I'm going to use after I try to mix this all together, knead it in together. The dough might get sticky, so I'm going to sprinkle this in case it does, okay? This will help smoothen the outer part of the dough, all right? So let's get started. Right here, just a little bit of water, just regular lukewarm water. Slowly put it in. You gotta eyeball it. And this is called cornmeal dumpling. I'm gonna work this in because now you see it's a little crumbly. And this flour that I'm using is all-purpose wheat flour. So it's going to be a little bit more brown, but it's healthier than the bleached white flour. So remember, the flour was 1.5 cup of flour, all-purpose wheat flour, and then 1/2 cup of cornmeal, fine cornmeal. The cornmeal that I used is the Grace fine cornmeal, okay? You can find this at any supermarket. If you can't, then you definitely can find it at an island grocery store, a Caribbean grocery store. But that's what I use for my dumplings. I'm just going to sprinkle in a little bit of this flour, not a lot, just to kind of pick up the stickiness from the outer part of the dough. And like I said, I'm sorry guys, I could not use gloves for this one. This is a hands-on type thing. You got to feel to know when you have enough water in it or not. All right, but my hands are clean. All right, so I'm just gonna let this chill out just a little. Let me check on the soup real quick, and then we'll start making our dumplings. I'm gonna get started. My hands are clean, guys. I had to check on the soup. It's looking really good. All right. like my dumplings to be a little like miniature size. Kind of make a little dent in the middle. Alright, so that's one dumpling. Not everyone loves wheat dumplings. It's not everybody's taste, you know, they prefer the white dumplings. I must be honest with you, I had to get used to eating the whole wheat dumplings because I grew up eating the white dumpling. It has a little texture to it, but it's nothing that's like unbearable. Now I'm going to show you how to make the spinners. It's very simple, okay? This is a spinner. I'm going to lower the fire a little bit. So you can do either or you can do both, you know, in the soup. And you don't have to put this in your soup. You can just have it the way it is. But traditionally, this is how it's made with the dumplings in there. These are the dumplings that I just made. I'm going to put this all in a pot and let this boil out for 25 to 30 minutes, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you guys with me so you can see how I'm putting it in the pot. You gotta gently put it in there because the soup juices are extremely hot and you don't want to burn yourself. Okay guys, so this is the soup. Believe it or not, the banana, the green banana is right here. It is nice and soft. Alright, not extremely soft, but it's cooked, if you can see very well. The chocho or choyote is cooked as well. So let me put the dumpling in here now. I'm going to stir the pot just to make sure everything is getting in. Let this cook down. The eye has been lowered to a medium heat. Alright, so we're just going to let it cook down some more. Boil out the dumplings. Let me put the scotchy in there now. We want to make sure that when we do put the scotchy in there, it doesn't bust open. Alright, so I'm just going to place it right in there. It's been washed off, guys, okay? Some more fresh thyme. I'm going to put the fresh thyme in there as well. Alright. Let the dumpling boil out. And then we'll add the okra. Alright, stay tuned. Alright, so I put in the okra. The soup is almost done. I'm just going to put it into the juices and I'm going to turn the stove off, okay? And let it cook on its own with just the heat from the pot. I'm going to turn up the pot once I finish stirring this up. You see the little dumpling right there peeping out saying hi. Will boil out on its own. And turn the eye off first. Cover the pot. And we'll check back on it in another, I would say 15 minutes. Stay tuned. So this is the final touches. This is my smoked turkey neck, aka Ghetto Oxtail soup. You will not feel guilty once again. This is a nice hearty soup. It's going to fill you up for at least 4 hours. You won't feel guilty because everything in here will be natural. And feel free if you want to add more salt, but I would say wait until the soup is done because the smoked turkey necks have salt in it already. So wait till the soup is done and then you can add some more seasoning if you like. But for the most part, this is it. If you look over here, you can see the spinners kind of laying up against the bowl. And then these are the 2 round miniature dumplings that I did. All right, the okra, the smoked meat, the corn. If you look very well in the corner, you'll see the pumpkin. Yeah, chocho or choyote. But I need you guys to know, do not boil out the pepper. If you boil that pepper out, it's going to probably make your soup way too spicy. If you don't want any pepper in your soup, that's fine. You do not have to put any. If you like this channel, please click the notification bell to notify you when I have a new video out. Like, comment, subscribe. And until we meet again, please stay safe, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.